Welcome back to our channel History Coins HD. As you that old is gold, but these rare Lincoln wheat penny coin that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Number 1. Coin collectors and history lovers. In today's video, we're diving deep into the story of one of the most intriguing and valuable pennies ever produced in the United States. We're talking about the rare and elusive 1917's Lincoln wheat penny, a coin that might look ordinary to the untrained eye but is actually worth far more than its face value. So stick around, because you're about to discover why this little copper coin from over a century ago has collectors around the world chasing after it with intense passion, and why you might want to check your change jar after this video. Let's rewind the clock to the year 1917. The world was in turmoil. The United States had just entered World War I, and Americans were seeing massive changes in everyday life. Among the hustle and uncertainty, something seemingly small yet historically significant was happening at the U.S. Mint. In San Francisco, the Mint struck a limited run of 1-cent coins featuring Abraham Lincoln on the front and 2 wheat stalks on the back. These coins are now known as Lincoln wheat pennies, and the 1917's issue is one of the rarest and most desirable among them. But what makes this penny so special? For starters, it's all about the S Mint mark. That little letter, located just beneath the date on the coin's obverse, signifies that the coin was minted in San Francisco. While millions of pennies were produced in 1917 overall, the San Francisco Mint produced a relatively small quantity compared to the Philadelphia Mint. Combine that limited mintage with over a century of circulation, and you have a recipe for extreme scarcity, especially when it comes to coins in excellent condition. And when it comes to collecting coins, condition is everything. Most of these pennies were used in everyday transactions and suffered the expected wear and tear. They were passed from hand to hand, spent on candy, groceries, stamps, you name it. That's why finding a 1917's Lincoln wheat penny in pristine condition today is like striking gold. The vast majority have faded details, worn edges, or damage that significantly lowers their value. But a coin that has survived the decades in near perfect state? That's a true rarity. Let's talk about design for a moment. The obverse side of the 1917's wheat penny features a profile of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Lincoln's portrait is strong, solemn, and dignified, a powerful tribute to one of America's most beloved presidents. On the reverse, we see the words 1 cent flanked by 2 graceful wheat ears, a simple yet iconic image that gives the coin its nickname, the wheat penny. The words E pluribus unum arc over the top, and United States of America rests just beneath the denomination. It's a minimalist design, but one that speaks to the strength and stability of the early 20th century United States. Now here's where things get really interesting. In the world of numismatics, the study and collection of currency, there's a strong demand for coins with both historical significance and physical beauty. The 1917's checks both boxes. Not only is it a product of a fascinating period in American history, but it's also a symbol of how even the most humble coin can hold extraordinary value if preserved well. Collectors look for sharp detail in Lincoln's hair and coat, clear lines in the wheat stalks, and strong luster across the coin's surface. If all of these are present, you're looking at a top-tier example, but rarity isn't just about mintage and age, it's also about survival. Experts estimate that only a tiny fraction of the original 1917's wheat pennies exist today in mint-state condition. That's why coin grading becomes so important. A 1917's graded MS65 or higher by a professional grading service is incredibly difficult to come by. And when one does surface, it draws enormous attention at auctions. This brings us to the heart of today's video: how much is one of these coins actually worth? After all, it's just a penny, right? Well, prepare to be amazed. If you are fortunate enough to possess a 1917's Lincoln wheat penny in top tier, uncirculated condition, flawless surfaces, crisp detail, and beautiful toning, it could be valued at a staggering $165,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny, minted over 100 years ago, can be worth more than a luxury car or even a down payment on a house. It's a breathtaking reminder of how everyday objects can become priceless treasures with the right mix of history, rarity, and preservation. So the next time you're sorting through old coins or stumble upon a dusty jar in your attic, keep your eyes open for the 1917's Lincoln wheat penny. That little copper coin might just change your life. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of America's most legendary pennies, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future treasure hunts. We've got plenty more coin stories coming your way, from overlooked gems to six-figure stunners. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy collecting! Number 2. Because we're about to dive into the fascinating story of one of the most underrated yet incredibly valuable coins in United States history, the 1947 Lincoln Wheat penny. Now, at first glance, it might seem like just another old penny. But as you're about to find out, this coin holds secrets that have made it a sought-after prize among collectors, and its value might just blow your mind. The Lincoln Wheat penny series is one of the most iconic coin collections in American numismatics. First introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, these pennies remained in circulation until 1958. They were designed by Victor David Brenner, whose initials famously appear on the coin. These coins were meant to honor the legacy of a man who preserved the Union, abolished slavery, and became a symbol of American strength and honesty. And while millions of Lincoln Wheat pennies were minted over the years, not all of them are created equal. The 1947 Lincoln Wheat penny is a perfect example of a coin that seems common at first, but becomes incredibly rare and valuable when specific conditions are met. Most people assume a coin from the late 1940s wouldn't be worth much today. After all, the war had ended, the economy was growing, and minting processes were getting more efficient. But as always, the value of a coin isn't just in its age or mintage, it's in the details. The year 1947 came just 2 years after the end of World War II. The country was adjusting to peace, rebuilding its industries, and beginning what would become a post-war boom. In the world of coin production, the U.S. Mint was back to full capacity, striking coins at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. And while millions of 1947 Lincoln Wheat pennies were minted overall, only a small fraction have survived in the kind of condition that collectors crave today. Here's where it gets interesting. Most of these 1947 pennies entered daily circulation, used for bread, newspapers, soda, bus rides, you name it. That means the majority of them have been worn down, scratched, or damaged beyond collectible condition. But every now and then, one turns up that's been carefully preserved, untouched by time, and absolutely stunning in its appearance. These are the coins that turn heads at auctions. Collectors and experts specifically look for 1947 pennies with bold details, crisp lines in Lincoln's portrait, full wheat ears on the reverse, and original mint luster that gives the coin a brilliant, almost glowing appearance. Coins like these are classified as mint state, and when they're graded at the highest levels, such as MS67 or better, they become incredibly valuable due to their rarity and visual appeal. And that's not all. Some extremely rare versions of the 1947 Lincoln penny have unusual characteristics, what collectors call varieties or errors. These can include off-center strikes, double dies, or coins that were accidentally struck with the wrong planchet or pressure. These errors are extremely rare and almost never found in circulation, but when they are, they can elevate the value of a coin exponentially. So why is the 1947 Lincoln Wheat penny so desirable to collectors today? It's the perfect combination of historical timing, condition rarity, and collector demand. People love coins with a story, and this penny comes from an era of American rebirth, optimism, and global change. It's a small copper symbol of a nation finding its way back to normal life, and for those lucky enough to find one in pristine condition, it's also a ticket to an incredible financial surprise. Now comes the part you've been waiting for. Imagine holding in your hand a single penny, just 1 cent. It fits in your palm. It could have bought a gumball or a postage stamp in its day. But if that penny happens to be a 1947 Lincoln Wheat penny in immaculate, mint state condition, flawless, rare, and breathtaking, it could be worth as much as $135,000. That's right. A single copper coin from 1947, tucked away in perfect shape, could bring a six-figure payday to a lucky collector. So next time you come across a jar of old coins, or maybe you're sifting through inherited change, pay close attention to those wheat pennies. Look closely. You never know what treasure you might be holding. It could be more than just a piece of history, it could be a life-changing find. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of America's most surprising coin treasures, make sure to give this video a like, hit that subscribe button, and tap the bell so you never miss a discovery like this one. We've got more incredible coin stories coming your way, from little-known rarities to jaw-dropping auction tales. Number 3. We're putting the spotlight on the 1954 Lincoln Wheat penny. Now before you shrug and say, it's just a penny from the 50s, let me stop you right there. Because this coin is far from ordinary. In fact, if you're lucky enough to own one in top condition, or better yet, discover a rare variant, you could be sitting on a small fortune without even knowing it. Let's set the scene. It's the mid-1950s in America. The war is over, the economy is booming, and the country is deep in the golden era of automobiles, rock and roll, and post-war optimism. In the midst of this vibrant time, the Denver Mint was busy striking millions of pennies to fuel the growing economy. The 1954 D Lincoln Wheat Penny was one of those coins, quietly entering circulation like millions before it. But what separates the 1954 D from the rest? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and collector demand. While tens of millions of these pennies were minted in Denver, as indicated by the little d just below the year, very few have survived the decades in near-perfect condition. The majority were used in everyday transactions, tossed in pockets, dropped in cash registers, and worn down over time. These circulated coins still hold some collector interest, but they don't even come close to the jaw-dropping value of a coin that's been kept in pristine, untouched, uncirculated condition. Let's talk design for a moment. On the obverse side, you'll find the dignified profile of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. His image has appeared on the penny since 1909, and the Wheat Penny series honors his legacy with a powerful, minimalist aesthetic. Flip the coin over, and you'll see the famous twin wheat stalks curving up around the words 1 cent and United States of America, along with the Latin phrase e pluribus unum. It's a classic look, one that has become instantly recognizable among collectors worldwide, but what makes the 1954 D stand out even more is the existence of rare minting errors and exceptionally preserved specimens. You see, not all 1954 D pennies are created equal. Some were struck with slight die shifts, double dies, or other imperfections during the minting process. These flaws may seem small, but in the world of coin collecting, they make a huge difference. Error coins are one of a kind. And the more unique a coin is, the higher collectors are willing to pay to own it, even without errors. Though, a 1954 D Lincoln Wheat Penny in high mint state, think MS66 or better, is exceptionally rare. Only a handful have ever been graded at such a level by professional grading services. These coins shine with full original luster, razor-sharp details, and flawless surfaces that look like they were minted yesterday. For collectors, finding a 1954 D penny in this condition is like finding a diamond in a gravel pit. So what drives up the value? It's a perfect storm of factors: historical significance, scarcity in top condition, nostalgic design, and collector enthusiasm. Add in the growing interest in U.S. coinage from all over the world, and you've got a coin that is only increasing in value with each passing year. People love stories. And the story of a penny that survived the 1950s untouched, hidden away for decades in a collection or old bankroll, only to emerge as one of the finest examples of its kind, that's the kind of tale that ignites bidding wars and headlines. It's not just a coin, it's a time capsule. Now comes the moment you've been waiting for. Imagine holding in your hand a penny that, for most people, would seem utterly ordinary. But if that penny happens to be a 1954 D Lincoln Wheat Penny in immaculate, mint state condition, free from scratches, full of shine, and graded at the highest levels, it could be worth as much as $125,000. Yes, one single penny. A copper coin from the 1950s. Worth more than a sports car, more than a college education, even more than some homes. That's the power of rare coins, and why collectors across the globe are always searching for that next big discovery. So if you've got an old coin collection sitting in your attic, or maybe a forgotten jar of change passed down through the family, don't ignore it. That little penny with a D under the date might just be your lucky ticket. Take a close look, and you might be holding history and a serious payday in the palm of your hand. If you found this video fascinating and want to learn more about rare coins, hidden treasures, and unbelievable finds, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification bell. We've got more stories coming that just might change the way you look at your spare change forever. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy collecting.